Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press day. I'm pretty happy with this day, although you see the top of my head scraped there. I scraped my head on the warm-up on the bench press. It happens, you know. Ruined my beautiful 10 out of 10 cranium aesthetics, my beautiful bald head. But happy with the set. Strength is coming back up on the bench. All right, I feel like I'm kind of on the right path with my diet again, adapting to this heat, managing fatigue in it. Because I got 6 pause reps. You know, again, the bench had regressed a little bit. We're back up to 6 here. And the 6th rep got a nice good pause, and it wasn't super grindy. You know, it felt like maybe I could have got a 7th. But we're happy with that. And I want to keep working on getting deeper stretches on the chest. Of course, I supersetted rows between my sets of benching, as I always do. You know, just did some Pendlay rows off the floor, 245, did some sets of 10 here. You know, I don't push a lot of my back sets quite as hard. I just don't need to. My back is my best body part. It's very well developed. You know, just keep rowing. You guys who saw the long discussion with Jamie yesterday, and we all talked like an hour off camera also, you know, without the filming going. He really did talk about, look, you've got to get your mobility back to where you can do pull-ups. And he gave some advice and stuff. And I told, you know, said in that thing, I'm doing a little bit of pullovers off camera. I did them on camera, and they look really, really bad. You guys can see how bad my mobility is. But the only way it's going to improve is to train it. I decided to use, for my benching today, to use my McDonald bar. I want to keep working on getting that stretch because I realize at the end of the day, with my bench, you know, I like using the bar, a competition legal top set. But for a lot of the supplemental work, it really has to be, can I grow? Can I get my chest bigger? And because I'm doing separate shoulder work and tricep work and stuff, I'm not as concerned with those on all my pressing. I need to just get my pecs bigger, bigger, bigger. That's what's going to get me up into the 400s on my bench, right? It's going to be pectorals. Am I saying that delts and triceps don't matter? No, but we've got other finesse movements for those. The incline work, laterals, extensions, you know, those things that I do already. Plus I can JM press a lot of weight whenever I need to. I can rotate those in anytime I want, but that's why I took them out, because I'm strong on the JM presses, right? I feel like it's just general hypertrophy and pecs I need at this point. But we still obviously do extensions. All right, so I did 2 sets of 10 on these. 10s were challenging with this bar. I want to get used to this bar again. Obviously, I'm going to need to go up heavier than 225. You know, I would like to get it up to where my flat bench is, but, you know, keep in mind the range of motion is a little deeper. And I'm taking these to where I feel a deep stretch. Obviously, I'm not trying to touch my chest on this. It's very, very hard for most people to do. But I am getting a deeper stretch than I do with the barbell, and that's what matters, right? And this is done almost flat back. Trying to get that stretch, trying to work the pecs as much as possible in that lengthened position, because that's where the hypertrophy happens. Plus, you know, what's going to carry over to your bench more, right? That ability to get the weight moving fast off the chest. All right, those lengthened position exercises are what's going to do that. Okay, so cambered bar benching, incline benching, right? And the incline bench I'm doing with a pause, as you guys will see. I didn't go all out on my first set. I'm trying to with incline. I find I really only can get one crazy good set in usually. And I feel like I need to ramp up every time. My first set always feels weaker. It's one of these lifts that I actually have to kind of warm up for. I don't do that on everything. So, you know, even I did the empty bar, which I still can't touch to my chest right now. Then I did 135, then I went up to this. So I just did 4 reps with pauses to get kind of in my zone. It's still a training set. It's hard enough that I get a training response. I also reduced the weight just a hair on my dumbbell rows. Why? Because I'm already doing a barbell row. I want these to be deep, so I'm trying to get the deeper stretch on my lats on these, right? Lengthened positions. Lengthened positions, that's what makes us grow. It really is. And I'm going to have to keep thinking that way with my lower body too, because I'm trying to get my quads back up so I can squat strong again. But I also, you know, again, chatting with Jamie about what he's been doing, you know, stuff that he's done to kind of rebuild himself after breaking world records in powerlifting and all that stuff. he's had some problems, and he had some good advice from me. And I think a lot of it's good because we do want to be just generally athletic, right? We want to be generally athletic and fit. I need to be bigger. I need to be leaner. I need to be more mobile. Right? We took a clip from that and we laughed about it. It's like, oh man, that's going to be chopped out by trolls. Like when Jamie's like, Jason Blaha talks about fitness, but he's not fit. So, we had a laugh about that. You guys know I've done a lot of conditioning in the past. I haven't been this summer though with the heat. But, point's still valid. So we did 6 pause reps with this today. So I want to keep getting my incline back up. Like I said, I took incline out for a while and my bench regressed. But notice that as I've added incline work back in, even though I'm not at top strength, the bench is coming back up. I don't think that's a coincidence. The carryover for me is always noticeable. I need to get back up to where I can do those sort of reps with another 30 pounds on the bar. Really, let's be honest, what would we like to see? I'd like to see 6 pause reps of 275. I think that'll put me in a good place, right? Put me in a good place. I think that's a good short term. That's a goal to reach for, right? And my bench might actually be at 405 if I do that. All right, these, as you guys can see, again, just focusing on that range of motion. And it's just not that heavy for me, 95-pound dumbbells. Just trying to get 12 reps with a good stretch. Trying to get those lats stretched. Because I do heavy deadlifts. I'm doing the heavier barbell rows. This is a finesse movement, right? It's great for grip, great for range of motion. Good exercise. I like the dumbbell rows. But it's also part of my grip training. All right, Skullcrushers. These felt really fatiguing today. Like this weight felt heavier than it should today. And I think it's just because I added some new stuff in with the other bar. Plus, my bench set was a little better than the last few weeks, so it took a little more out of me. So my overall pressing workload was a hair higher than it's been. So it makes sense that maybe my triceps are like, this feels about 5-10 pounds heavier than it normally does. Obviously not a heavy weight. We're just trying to work that long head, get the tricep into lengthened position. It's kind of the point with a Skullcrusher. All right, this is something I did different. Oh, sorry, this is my curls. So I loaded up my dumbbells here. Again, not very heavy. I'm not doing power curls today. And I do those in the rotation. You guys know I like to do power curls up to 185. Again, this is just trying to take some sets to failure. And for me, that was failure. People always say, that didn't look hard. I'm like, that was actual muscle failure. I went to do the 11th rep and the dumbbells didn't move. That's what failure means, right? Going beyond failure is what a lot of people seem to be thinking is failure. Forced reps, rest pause. Which I think is a great way to tear tendons. Get some quality sets in. Just get a pump, create some fatigue, maybe take some sets to failure if you have to. Again, it's the key to gaining size. You don't have to be so extreme with it. We're just lifting weights, guys. It's not that serious, not that hardcore. But when I went to the laterals up next, you guys will see that I tried to do them straight arm. I couldn't get 10 reps. I even took 20 pounds off of these. These are 48s, and you guys have seen me do these with a bent arm. Jamie and I talked about trying to do stuff with a straighter arm, which we know is hard for me. Again, because my arms are bent all the time. Again, we know this. We talk about this a lot, don't we? So for the laterals, I did supersets with just the easy bar on curls. I think I did like 13 reps with this weight. It's what I could get. Again, just kind of take these right up to the failure. Failure light. To where you're like, nope, can't get another rep. But you don't try to force it. That's the main thing. I'm not forcing a rep and trying to lay back and cheat. Either you can get the rep or you can't. But, 13 of those, and then I did these with a straight arm. I got like 7 and 8 reps on these 2 sets, trying to do these as straight arm as possible, which, still not super straight arm. These were hard. And I took 20 pounds off each dumbbell versus my normal type. But again, got a good delt pump, and that's what matters, doesn't it? You guys see the top of my head all scrape again. I didn't realize it was that bad until after I got done training. Right? trying to do the straight arm. So that's going to take work on stuff, and you guys will see it with the pullovers. Trying to do straight arm pullovers to the limits of my range of motion. All right, but how do we build mobility? We stretch stuff with weights to the range of motion that we have. We get up against it and stretch. That's how you improve mobility, and it takes time. So I'm going to work on this. Okay, I had already started doing my dead hangs again. All right. I do dead hangs. Of course, I've done a lot of those in the past on camera. I've used to do them weighted on camera. Plus, it'll probably help my grip. Grip is holding back my deadlift a little bit. I think the dead hangs will add some grip training. Right? But trying to do these as straight arm as possible, they were just really hard. Really hard. Little bitty lightweights too. That's 28s. I might have to actually go lighter. Okay, 25. That's my range of motion. That is stretching, but I'm trying to get that stretch on it. And that's all we can do. Get up to that range of motion. And this hurt. This was actually painful. Like even in my lats were being stretched. Everything was just, I felt my triceps, my lats, my shoulders. Okay. This is going to take some work. I'm going to have to get my arms straighter than that. And I'm going to have to, keep butting against the limit of that. But I felt like on the very last rep, I got like another inch. I think when I got to the end, I'm like, oh, it felt like I got maybe just another little inch. And it's going to have to be inch by inch. Progressive range of motion at our limits, just like progressive overload. It takes time. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.